Hi, my name's Kos Sakas, International Artistic Director for Toni & Guy and Label M, and welcome to our flagship academy here in London and our new collection, The Legacy, in honour of our founder, Tony Mascolo. He always said, education, education, education was the driving force behind Toni & Guy's success. And it's our educational excellence, our passion and our skill set that has influenced some of the best hairdressers in the world. As a young hairdresser with Toni & Guy, it was the amazing education that influenced me to pay it forward and also to share my learnings within the Toni & Guy artistic team. For this season, we've got 3 elements. We have got our vintage, our contemporary and our creative. And within those, we have our perimeters, we have our interiors, and we have our details. Today, I'm working with the vintage perimeter. So working on a curly shape, keeping it tight, keeping it square, but keeping the perimeter outlines strong and heavy. So let's have a look at the step-by-step.
The sections are curved diagonally back from the front hairline to the ear and again from the ear to the nape. A square horseshoe is placed above the curvature of the head and vertical sections are dropped down to just behind the ear. Curved sections have been placed through the perimeter in order to disconnect and maintain weight. Interior box panels have been designed so a square shape can be cut internally to keep the shape tight and compact. Starting at the back, a vertical profile section is taken so the first guideline can be placed in. The length and shape is crucial to the final result. The first section is elevated and cut square through the back, with a slight increase in length as the nape is reached. Notice the finger position here is downwards, and he makes sure he's standing parallel to the section to encourage the square end result. The idea is taken from our vintage archives, and the technique is called the Frenchie, which was used to create beautiful pixie cut shapes. Parallel section is now taken vertically and the guideline is followed, over-directing the section to the previous, which will create the square shape that we're looking for. The shape focuses on squareness and head-hugging curls. The technique has structure with disconnected outlines to ensure strength is maintained via density of the curl. The final section is over-directed enough to maintain the square shape when it's cross-checked. The Frenchie that the technique is based on was used in different forms around the 80s and 90s, starting at the time of Toni & Guy's In Focus lookbook. It's progressed from then until most recently, where we know the technique is the vertical graduation from our Future Foundation Education Manual. The hair is visually and technically cross-checked by taking horizontal sections and looking for a square shape that he created by over-directing the hair to the previous section. As we move on to the other side, you'll notice that the finger position has reversed to allow the correct body position to over-direct. To cross-check, starting from the bottom of the section and working horizontally up, he pulls the hair at 90 degrees and looks for a square shape. The technique is repeated until reaching the last section at the back area. Now the hair is visually and technically checked before moving on to the section at the side area. Progressing to the side panel, the square shape wants to be maintained. A vertical section is taken from the back panel to act as a guideline. Each section is over-directed to previous and continued square through the side. Vertical sections are continued forward and constantly cross-checked with the square shape. Keeping the sections nice and clean will allow you to control your haircut and identify areas of disconnection. The three elements of the collection reflect the Toni & Guy brand. The vintage bears homage to our heritage, the contemporary represents the trend-led work of our worldwide salon division, and the creative is expressed through our education and partnership with London Fashion Week. It's really important to check the shape visually as you work through. It allows your taste and understanding of what you're looking for to develop. Progressing to the opposite side, the guideline is now over-directed to the side panel and the finger position reversed to control the squareness of the shape. Moving forward until the disconnected curve section is reached, the balance is checked and the corners cross-checked to highlight the technical shape. Once you're happy with the area below the curvature of the head, progress to the internal area. A square layer, one of the fundamental cutting techniques from the Toni & Guy Future Foundation Classic collection, is used here. Horizontal sections are taken and the hair is elevated at 90 degrees to over-directed. Twist cutting is a creative cutting technique and it's used here to complement the curl. Using a profile parting, he subdivides the hair. You can see how the guideline loosely pops out as you retwist the hair. He twists the hair tight and uses the inside of the blade to make small incisions around the twists. The scissors should be directed up to cut a softer edge. You're looking for an irregular finish to the cutting line. The next section is taken parallel and progressing forward, the guideline is also twisted into the section to give a loose visual guide to the length. The last section is over-directed to maintain the length, so the fringe area can be freehand cut once the hair has been dried. As the curls are really tight, the over-direction will give an optional length and freedom needed when creative cutting. All the clips are now removed, the sections are released and the hair is visually checked. Re-establishing the side panel, the hair is combed to natural full and held at 1 finger's depth. The line is cut square to encourage strength through the perimeter. The same technique is repeated on the opposite side and the hair is released to bounce back to its natural state. Lastly, the perimeter outline at the nape is strengthened. The Label M Curl Cream is fantastic for creating moisture and definition into the hair. Once it's worked through, he uses the Label M diffuser and dryer to activate the product and really encourage the curls. After the hair is blow dried, the twist cutting technique is used again, starting at the fringe area to establish the final detailing. Working around the head and visually removing weight by twisting sections of hair tight, and then using the inside of the blade to make small incisions around the twist. This high and tight fringe is a key focus area to the look. He carries on working visually around the head, and where needed, the hair is taken and twist cut, reducing weight and encouraging the curl. This final detailing is crucial to tailoring the end result to reflect the theme of squareness inspired by the Frenchy technique. To finish, he uses the Label M Fashion Edition wax spray to mould the hair into the shape that was established by the cutting technique. The wax spray is one of the most popular products in the Fashion Edition range. It adds definition and volume to the hair, which makes it the perfect product for curls. This is the completed look for the vintage perimeter technique from the Legacy collection. The Ari focuses on vintage perimeters, taking influence from 1970 natural tight curls which show strength through the perimeter. Model Ari Westphal wore the shape with confidence and individuality, and Miu Miu embraces the attitude in its most recent campaign.